This July, Nairobi becomes a gathering ground for ministers, leaders, and believers hungry for revival, strength, and fresh fire. From the 15th to the 17th of July, Standing Strong Ministers Conference 2026 brings together seasoned voices and an atmosphere charged for transformation. Hosted by Apostle David Juma.
The spirit of wisdom is something we have neglected.
Alongside powerful ministers from across the nation, Pastor Assumpta Juma.
We are called so that we can be the very express image of Christ.
Apostle William Kimani.
God can direct you to go and receive a spiritual covering because of the battles he wants you to fight.
Bishop Mark Kegohi.
Don't waste your armor on what is not the real task.
Bishop Stephen Gashengo.
Lord is calling us back to the truth. He's calling back to the sound doctrine of Christ.
Reverend Julian Kula.
If my prayer life becomes necessitated by matter, I will find myself making decisions influenced by matter.
Apostle Othniel Mwabili.
God is raising you up as a person of significance.
And Pastor Tim Wangi.
We are not just the stones. We are also the sacrifice.
Worship ministry by Jane Nala, Njoki Muni, Sheila Juma, Linda Talam, Apostle John Wesley, True Worshippers Generation from Uganda, and other anointed teams. Welcome for 3 days of impartation, 3 days of truth, 3 days that can shift the course of your ministry and your walk with God. Join us at Uhuru Park Gardens, Nairobi, Kenya from 9 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. daily. This is more than a conference. It is a call to stand strong. Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, our viewers. Welcome to another episode of the 𝗔𝗍 Report. I'm your host, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and once again, on this Friday evening, we have lined up for you an amazing show. And wherever you're watching us from, I believe that you're going to learn. We are going to discuss amazing things here with my guests. But before we proceed, let me just remind you that we are live on our social media platforms, Elevate TV Kenya, Facebook, and YouTube channels. Please remember to subscribe our YouTube channel and follow us on the Facebook side of things. And please make sure you give us your comments, follow the conversation. We are live, so we will interact with your comments wherever you're watching us from. So welcome again, and as always, the 𝗔𝗍 Report. We bring you big, bold, and honest conversations, and this evening I'm joined in the studio by two amazing ladies. They are authors of books, and I'm going to just give you a very quick introduction, and then I'll ask them to welcome you and join us right at the far end. Dr. Evangeline Nderu. I think, well, TV, sometimes can harass people, but Dr. Evangeline is here. She's going to be fine. She's an educationist and an author. She's part of the team that authored this amazing book. She is here in the studio. She's going to be talking to us as we talk about purpose and alignment. Yes. So please look at this camera. Welcome our friends, our viewers, and all your friends. Give them a very nice smile so that they stick with us.
Thank you, Pastor 𝗔𝗍. Welcome, friends and family. I know you're out there, and I look forward to the next hour, and I look forward to your feedback and your comments.
Wonderful.
Back to
Thank you. Karibu sana, Daktari. And then over here is 𝗏𝗡, smiling all the way. 𝗏𝗡 Nyandia Mohodia is also an author. She is part of the team that authored this other book, Bold Moves. So she has a chapter in here. And 𝗏𝗡 is actually a certified human resource professional, and she is a sales and client relations manager, currently navigating a new and intentional chapter in her professional journey. I'm sure, 𝗏𝗡, there are some things you are not telling us, but you will tell us. So welcome, 𝗏𝗡. Look at that camera there, and welcome our viewers.
Hello, hi, welcome all. This is going to be an amazing show. And yeah, we're looking forward to having a good time and open to discussions and comments. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Now, we're talking about purpose and alignment. And I think really we want to capture this whole idea of how to make bold moves. The Bold Move book here is here, and that align with purpose, right? I know, there's a lot of talk about purpose. But when you're in the professional field, you are running your career, of course, you don't want to be jobless. So sometimes you are doing a job you don't like too much, but anyway, you have to do it. But over time, as you go through career, get to a point where you really want to align. You want to do what you really do best, what you enjoy, and all that. And of course, the older you get within the career space, the more you look down and say, yeah, now I can choose. I can do this and not this.
Yes.
And all that. So that's the area I want us to discuss. I want us to talk about that whole space of alignment. Okay? Alignment, bold moves, decisions, and all that. And so feel free to tell us as much about the lessons you've learned, so that we can have our viewers engaged. So, as always, we always like beginning with tell us about your journey and how you got to where you are today. I know you could do that the whole hour, but keep it to about 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
A very summarized. How did you get to where you are? So we'll start with you, Dr. Evangeline.
Thank you, Pastor Gigi. How did I get to where I am? You're right. I could talk about that all day.
Yes.
But as succinctly as possible, I've always, even when I was a child, I always wanted to share information, share my knowledge, look after younger ones, and see them grow.
Okay.
So very fast forward,
Yeah.
I finally got into education. I was an untrained teacher for a couple of years, and that solidified my decision to go further into education. Walked into teacher training and so on and so forth. It's a very, very journey. But then I realized over time that there is some value to getting into the system and developing or working on policy and strengthening policy. And before you know it, I had my doctorate in policy and administration in education. Fast forward again. And today I'm the founder and CEO of an organization called 𝗏𝗡𝗏 Strategies.
Yeah.
And we advise governments, particularly on education policy development and implementation at school level. So that's me very, very briefly.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. And since you're in the education space, we're going to be coming back to you. Okay. All right, 𝗏𝗡, your brief story.
Okay.
Yes.
I think among the many of us who start school not knowing what you want to do, so you're just deciding on a course just because you need to go to school. And you need to have a diploma, you need to have a degree. But what I knew, what was very specific about was that I didn't want a course that limits me to a specific career. I wanted to be at a space whereby I'm able to navigate through different roles. So I did business administration. And my first attachment, I did it as, I went for HR. That one was selected by NITA, this NITA whereby you find the attachments. And that's where I went, and through that first internship, I got to do customer care, I got to do secretarial work, I got to do billing clerk in the same organization, but I ended up in HR.
Okay.
And I did HR for 8 years, which I enjoyed, but still I felt like that is not where I felt like I needed something more entertaining, more more engaging, more challenging. And that is why I ended up as a sales manager currently. That's a class relations manager. That's what I'm doing currently. But that's another story, which you're going to indulge more on during the discussions.
That's part of why you are here, you know, because you have a whole, you are certified human resource professional, but now you are in the sales. But anyway, it's still a people-based, you're in the front end, you know, people-facing. It's a people-facing, you know, kind of career work. So that was okay. That's your area. Wonderful. So I think we want to go back to that place, and you know, you know, I shared with you one of the things I was thinking about. Do you ever feel that your career was headed in the right direction, was not headed in the right direction, and what did you do to bring it back to alignment? For example, your story, but let's start with Dr. Evangeline. I think you mentioned you started as an untrained teacher. You always wanted to be a teacher. Now you are in the space where you are advising teaching policy, and you're technically you have advanced training. You are very, very familiar with the whole industry, both practicing and also in the academy, or rather you have academic, you've done you know, PhD. That's meant to your that space. Did you ever feel like maybe classroom and me kuna mahali tunaachana? So talk to us about that. Did you have that kind of puzzles, struggling and all that, and what did you do about it?
I like that you are talking about it as though it was in the past. I believe even as we grow and life happens to us, this is something that we are continuously facing. And if you have found that nirvana, I commend you, and I'd like to learn the secret. For me, pivoting has not been just a, you know, one moment I woke up in the morning and it happened. I think over time, like I said, I was an untrained teacher, and I realized because I was untrained, there was certainly a ceiling. I couldn't advance. I couldn't be a head teacher. I couldn't, you know, I couldn't advance. And so I got into, that's when I decided to do a master's in education. During that part of my career, I learned the pleasure of training teachers. And I loved it. And so I went forward knowing that I'm going to be a teacher trainer. I'll be working at university, and this is something that I really enjoyed. Again, over time, I started noticing different things. You know, there are limitations in terms of what we could do as teachers, as teacher trainers. There are certain pathways that teachers need to follow if they want to advance and go into administration and management, for example. So again, there was a bit of a slight change, and I began to understand, like I mentioned earlier, that is part of, it's the system level, it's the administration, it's the policies, it's the guidelines, it's the standards. And so I started moving into that direction, and then discovered that there's a whole other world in the non-governmental space that gives you a lot more flexibility and a lot more opportunity for innovative solutions, for example. And yet I would still be able to work alongside governments, ministries of education, and test out initiatives and see what works best for our children, and then, you know, see how we can make that scale up for, you know, the whole country or countries.
Wonderful. And we'll be coming back to you because, of course, there's the perpetual discussion not been concluded on the CBC. It's an ongoing conversation because I think Kenyans have reached that place where we really want the best for our children. So we are willing to experiment and get the best we can. So Mercy, so right now I think you're a very good example, and thank God you came to the show. You're a very good example of somebody. I mean, you were thrown into this space at the time of attachment, and you got into HR, customer care, secretarial work, and you're in that space, and then ended up in HR for a number of years. And now you're doing sales. Please tell us about how you pivoted. and if you're uncomfortable, you want to go back to the human resource office.
Okay, I went for an interview.
Okay.
For HR role, my current organization.
Okay.
And I passed.
Okay.
But they wanted someone who will start immediately. But since now you're in HR, you can't just decide to resign. And I couldn't see myself resigning with immediate effect. So I asked my boss to give me 2 weeks,
yes,
so that I can now report.
Yes.
But unfortunately, they gave number 2 that role.
Yeah.
But my boss saw something in me that I did not see in myself.
Okay.
So now she called me again. She told me, Mercy, now, okay, are you okay if we interview you for a sales manager role? And I was like, oh my God, sales manager. Like, okay, fine, let me just come. And I went.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that interview, and I enjoyed the whole, she tried to explain to me all that I'm going to be doing and all that, and I was like, aha, this is what I've been missing.
Yes.
And then she asked me, Mercy, how soon can you start? I asked her, how soon do you want me to start? She told me, can you start tomorrow? I'm like, yes. And that's how I resigned.
Wow.
Imagine, that's why I came. And I love this role with my heart. It allows me the challenges that I was looking for. You when you're in a space where you're too comfortable, you always, if you're a goal getter, you always feel like it's not fulfilling you enough, but you don't know where to go to. So she gave me that. She allowed me have that leap of faith, right, and I took it head on. I had not done any sales. Okay, customer care is not the same as the sales manager role, but I took it head on, and I was willing to learn from that job. And she was like my mentor that whole time. Yes. And right now, I'm doing very well. 2 years now on the line, and I'm really enjoying. And honestly speaking, one thing we kind of misunderstand about careers and education, there is no straight line.
Yes.
You should be ready to move and experience life and all that, because any good leader out there needs to have different skill sets. You've done a bit of HR here, you've done a bit of procurement here, you've done a bit of sales. So once you're in that role, you have a bit of every knowledge that you can get. So since my desire at some point to be a CEO or own my own business, I will, if a role comes that it's challenging enough and I feel I can do it and it's not sales related, I'll go for it.
All right, so you're open even for the finance manager.
I'm not done experiencing this life.
I hope my children are listening to you because they want to be CEOs. So yes,
absolutely. Yeah. So it's true. It's true that life can throw you those kind of things. Maybe now you've reminded me that one of the jobs I did, I interviewed for a role, and it was given to somebody else, and then the employer called me after that and said, no, we want to consider you for something different. Yes. You understand?
Yes.
So I share your experience. So I was hired for something different. I was asked to go and start and head a business school. So that's how I got into the business side of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's really, so there are people out there who are, say, in the middle of their career or maybe starting off, who somehow do not know how to pivot, the new term in town.
Yes.
Pivoting. So, Dr. can you talk to us about this pivoting business, and how do you make that move? Because there is knowing that you can make the move, but how do you do it?
It takes courage. It takes, let's start with courage.
Yes.
Because sometimes when you're in a job that is paying your bills, it's giving you benefits, like you mentioned, comfort. You get into that place where you're like, maybe I don't even really enjoy my job anymore, but we are eating, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you're looking out there and seeing other people talking about the way they love their jobs and they're, and they're doing really well and they're, this kind of enthusiasm, Mercy. And you're like, oh, I wish I had that kind of enthusiasm myself. And I think sometimes it's a leap of faith. Of course, you don't just abandon your job and move on to the next thing, but you do your homework. you make sure that even as you're leaving this one to go into the new space, that there is a space for you, that you can add value, not just for yourself, but for your community, that you're adding value to your country, your community. I'm a great believer in that. Yeah. And have a plan. Talk to people. You know, these people that you're mentioning who saw something in you, seek out advice from mentors or people who've been there before, who have experienced this before. Yeah. But it all comes down to courage and faith in yourself and the way forward.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that bit of the courage and faith in yourself.
Yes.
Because a lot of people feel very, very frightened. They are very unsure about themselves.
Absolutely.
It takes a lot of career, you know, it takes a lot of faith. I agree completely. Now, what's the biggest career move you've ever made, and how did that turn out? I know we've had your bait, but maybe there's another career move you made somewhere else in the sky.
I think currently what I'm doing right now was the biggest one, because I moved into a career that I had no idea how to navigate, but I was confident enough in myself to know that I can do it. And one thing that I think most of us do is we limit ourselves. We put a limit to ourselves. There is nothing that any of us can't do. It's only that we have this idea, you know, we come out of school with this idea of how life should be. But things don't always work out the way we want them to. And once you're open enough to accept life, what life throws at you, and take it in a positive way, you can do anything you want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, like almost like an interview.
Yes.
Yes.
So
what do you consider is your biggest advantage in terms of, is it flexibility, or is it ability to learn, or is it just because you are able to deal with people?
I learned that every like for me, I did customer relations. I was a secretary at some point. I did billing, HR, then now sales. It's only that at times we do not have faith in God. Every stage that God puts us through has a lesson.
Yes. And
you can only realize that once you get to the other side. Because what I'm doing right now needed all those skills. Yes. Customer relations, conflict resolutions. I'm doing a lot of HR still here in my sales role, because you're dealing with people.
Yes, you have a team.
As much as I want that bill, that invoice paid, I'm dealing with somebody in the finance department who needs to pay that bill. I'm dealing with the procurement department to give me that LPO. That is customer relations. Yes. That is still HR. Being able to conflict. You know, at times you have conflicts. At times my boss wants something solved, and somehow I need to have it solved because I'm the sales manager and they know me as the contact person. Yes. So there's every stage in life. Don't take, at times a detour is just personal development in some way. Yes. So it is both. It's part of it is the willingness to navigate through life. Part of it is I trust myself enough and I believe in myself. You know, everything starts with self. All right. And if you do not believe in yourself, nobody else can. That's true. Yes. So you go out there and just do it. Yeah. Yes. I will ask how once you're there. Don't ask how when you're out there. Just okay. Yes, this is the job. Okay, fine. Then okay. GG, Pastor. How do I do this? Yes. And that's how you maneuver through life.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. So, Mwalimu. Yes. I'm sure you also have a few extra lessons. What is that one key that makes them? You talked about courage. Yes. You talked about courage, the boldness to take a move. Yes. But there is also, you know, on the other hand, there's always that feeling of financial instability. You don't want to kind of make a move and then find yourself high and dry, so to speak. Have you had to kind of like risk that? Oh, by the way, have you had a career break along the way where you are at home, you didn't have a salary, but you're making these rapid applications to kind of get back? Yes. Did you ever go through that?
When I was younger, yes. Yes. I did. Yes. And then I learned, what was that popular word that we're talking about now? I learned to. So one of the things that I have learned, sometimes the hard way, is to be ready to learn. I don't know everything. So even as I'm going through new experiences, there's always something that I can pick up. And like you mentioned, Mercy, some of those things have now come to roost today. That's why you are here today. So I think I have been fortunate enough not to be in that space again where I didn't know which way was up.
Yes.
However, about 4 years ago, I decided to go it alone and leave my employer or leave employ and start consulting.
Yes.
And that's how 𝗵𝗨𝗥𝗣𝗡 was born. I have to say I have 2 children in university. And so there was the question of, do I really want to go into the consulting world, especially today? You know, the big donors are now no longer giving us as much money as they used to. So am I being serious? You know, and I'm looking at my children who now, and you know, they're very aware of the global situation.
Yes.
And they kept asking me, are we okay? You know, kind of thing. So 2 things were going on, and I was learning very rapidly on these 2 fronts. One is how to be my own employer, so to speak, and to seek out work and not to be. I also had to learn to be, what's the opposite of proud? 𝗤𝗃𝗣𝗢. So I learned how to be humble enough to say to people, look, I'm here, I can help, you know. Do you need me to come and help you? And not take it personally when they say, no. You know, so that was a hard lesson, but one that I continue to learn. The second part of that is passive income. And I'll talk about that just a little bit. I'm not a professional by any means, but I'm a trial and errorist.
Yes.
So passive income, just learning how to invest so that you're not always using the last coin that you have. You're using maybe 20%, maybe 40%, but you're leaving the bulk growing in one way or another.
Yes.
So that's an area that I continue to learn in. And we've been okay. They're both in university, and we continue enjoying life.
And they are not worried for mom.
Yes,
for their mother.
They're not worried.
Actually, by the way, you know, you mentioned they were asking, are we okay? Are we okay?
Yes.
They can see their mother is making some moves. I hope she doesn't get things wrong.
Right. Does she know what she's doing? So yes, so I like to say, and I know they are watching, so I'm gonna say yes, I know what I'm doing. Most of the time. Most of the time,
you know what you're doing.
Yes,
but if you get it wrong, you will still be fine.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. Those of you that are following this conversation, I see somebody here, inspired within innocent. He says, keep on shining. Dr. 𝗵𝗨𝗥𝗣𝗡, one of your friends, is watching here.
Thank you, Innocent.
And 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Gashoka says, awesome. I don't know whether that is now your your friend. But yes. Thank you, all of you that are tuned in. We are talking about, you know, purpose and alignment. You know, that alignment, you know, is something kind of, it's a continuous, it's an ongoing job. You have to keep aligning.
Absolutely.
Including, and maybe this is where I would like you, Dr. 𝗵𝗨𝗥𝗣𝗡, to speak. You know, the whole issue of, as an educator, the idea of selecting relevant skills to develop. Do you think that is something that we must, because you know sometimes people want to study what is popular.
Yes. Yes.
But kind of there has to be, you have to have your goals in mind, what you're good at, and then maybe select the kind of skill sets you're developing, so that then now you're not kind of just throwing away your options all over the place.
Absolutely.
Speak to that.
Sure. I think one of the things, let me take us back a little bit into history. I'm a child of the 70s, like I keep saying.
Yes.
And by the time I came of age, you had to know, even when you were getting into high school, you had to know what you're going to be when you grow up. I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be an engineer, I'm going to, you know, those kinds of things.
Yes.
So you needed to pick the subjects that led you into that particular field.
Yes.
And then now you fast forward to the 2020s, where there are careers that I don't understand. One of my sons, for example, is a YouTuber. I think it's a YouTuber. Yes. So when he tells me, oh yeah, you know, I do, you know, he makes all these videos and he's recording and he's making money out of it, all I can say is well done. A lot of the times they laugh at me a lot because a lot of the time I have no idea what you're doing, and I try not to be that, you know, old-fashioned mom who's like, you know, like my father who used to say, you need to be in a job for 30 years.
Right.
That is what stability is.
Yes.
Now, in my career, I have averaged 3 years, which was unusual for us. So now I feel that through every career point, I have learned something. I have, you have to be willing to be flexible, and you have to take advantage of the good that you're learning. I think the main thing is, does it connect with your values?
Okay.
If you know, you need to be very clear on what your values are. And I'll stop there because I can continue on that trajectory for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, Marcy, are there some things you had to learn? I mean, for more, have you signed up now for a sales course or anything, you know, to kind of enter the professional side of things?
Yes. I want to advance, but I'm yet to decide on what, because I'm still not sure whether I'll be in sales for the rest of my life. Okay. So that's why, again, I'm saying that for me, it's very important to have a very open career that allows me to navigate through different roles. And that is a bit of a challenge because, yes, I have CHRP, and I still do HR consultations here and there, but that I need to top up that with something else.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you want to be a CEO, so that you're willing to learn as much as possible.
Yes.
Amazing. Guess what? We're going to take a short break.
Okay. All right.
All right, viewers, don't go away. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we continue with this conversation. I still have more questions and more things that we want to learn so that we can get this alignment, okay? So don't go away. We're coming back in 2 minutes.
Anytime, anywhere. Access inspiration that never switches off. Stuck in traffic? Elevate your mood and own the moment. Just looking busy? Make every second count. Tap into kingdom content instead. One tap, instant power, real transformation. Download the Elevate TV app now. Exclusively on Google Play.
City Lighters Church is turning 8. Join us this Sunday, the 5th of July 2026, as we celebrate 8 amazing years of God's faithfulness and goodness. We'll be gathering at the Arboretum Private Gardens from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for a powerful time of worship, thanksgiving, and the Word of God brought by Apostle David Juma of Life Church International. If you can't join us in person, you can still celebrate with us live on Elevate TV. Don't miss it. We can't wait to celebrate with you. See you this Sunday.
If you forgot your hard copy Bible today,
what would you do?
Would you drive back home?
The use of technology in ministry.
As much as the Bible app was envisioned in the US, they saw that there was a trend that was coming up. As we are speaking today, 21.1 million Kenyans have downloaded the app.
Go ye to all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. The world is now online.
Number one, technology can actually help us go farther and faster.
Right.
Not replacing the principles.
Yeah.
But also, there's also an element of how much technology has become part of our life. That number two, we can actually be able to do discipleship every day.
Can we use technology to multiply quickly and go faster?
The emphasis we keep saying is that this is a platform, but it will never be the shepherd. and it will never be the Holy Spirit.
Welcome back. This is the 𝗔𝗍 report, and we are talking about purpose and alignment, and how to make bold career moves and that bring alignment. And sometimes the alignment doesn't come in. You fumble through. Some of you are probably doing something you don't like, but anyway, you have to do it because the old adage, putting food on the table. But then you kind of reach a place where you get very tired of that story of putting food on the table. You say, throw caution to the wind and say, I'm going to do what I really wanted to do. So I think that's a place we can come back to. Okay. You know, career somehow is a very personal thing. Yes. And self-leadership. Mercy in her book chapter in this book, Bold Moves, I think you've talked about self-leadership, right? Knowing when to make the change and the alignment, whether it's career or not. And then that concept of self-leadership. I know we had a bit of participation from Mercy. I think we finished with you. So maybe you can start with Mercy again. All right, so for fairness. So, I mean, Dr. Evangeline, so let's talk about self-leadership, because if you're going to make the right career move, you kind of have to do a lot of self-reflection, assessment, know yourself, be confident about yourself. You've said that already. The role of self-leadership. Do you find maybe sometimes, you can lead others, but you know, kind of you let yourself get away with a lot of stuff, and you feel a bit guilty, letting yourself down? Talk to us about that and how that links with your career.
Sure. Speaking for myself, but I hear it a lot from particularly women leaders. Yes. The idea of we are our own biggest critics. Yes. We find fault with ourselves the most. You know, you'll do something brilliant, you'll be in front of people, you'll be leading people and moving a whole organization forward. And then when you go behind the scenes, this person is saying, oh, I could have done this better. Oh, this is terrible. You know, that kind of thing. Yes. So I think we are our own biggest critics. And I think it's much easier for me, for example, to say, Mercy, give me your book and let me promote it, than for me to say, I have my book here, you know, everybody pick up a copy, you know, I'm brilliant. So I think it's something that we need to work on. Yes. In my chapter in When Things Go Wrong, it's called replenishing myself to lead. I think one of the other things that I have talked about there, which is something that I am learning to do more and more every day, is not just focusing on the career. There is another part of you, and you need to take care of all the various parts of you, spiritually, mentally, physically, before you can also take care of your career. So I think that's one of the things that we're so focused on: career, and what are you going to do, and who are you, and what are you going to be, and we forget who we are. Right. So for myself, of course, I talk about cycling, which I love, and it's cycling that actually gave me a bit of an out when things got overwhelming, when the career was not going in the right direction, when I could have pulled my hair out because I didn't know whether I was making the right decisions and moving in the right direction. So do something that warms your heart. You know, do something that makes you feel whole.
Cycling, that's interesting. That's bicycle cycling?
That's bicycle cycling.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, you enjoy that?
So, I love it.
Like doing 75 kilometers, 100 kilometers?
Yes, 2 weekends from now, my team, the Joy Riders, we are going to go down from Nairobi to Naivasha on Saturday and come back up on the 18th. So we do We do 100 kilometers, yes.
Wonderful.
Yes,
That, you must be amazing.
It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah. So, it's that what you're talking about, the whole idea of self-leadership and kind of trying to expand your space so that you're not kind of lost in this, the everyday career things. They can be very, very overwhelming.
Yes.
Maybe Mercy can also talk about her own, how do you kind of like find inspiration outside the 8 to 5 and self-leadership? Do you find yourself sometimes struggling?
Yes. One thing I came to learn, I was telling a friend, most of us never have time for ourselves. Do you know there are people who cannot spend time on their own? You always have either not for us, we have kids, you're either with your kids, you're at work. At times you need to be able to enjoy time with yourself. Not because you're depressed. No, most people assume that when you're taking time for yourself, you must be depressed. You can enjoy your own company. And it is when you're enjoying your own company that you're able to realize, no, this thing is not aligned with me, I need to change this, I feel like I'm overweight, I'm not breathing properly. People never take time to really listen and feel themselves. Some people don't even look at them in the mirror like men. Just to appreciate yourself and just, I'm beautiful, I look good, And when your value comes from without, you'll always be disappointed. At some point last year, I was going through so much. I love my job, but I was going through so much of office politics, and I even wanted to resign. But now I sat down with myself, that solitude moment, and I sat down like, Mercy, you know what took you to that organization. You know how capable you are. So are you going to let this win or not? So I just sat down and started personal branding. So I was like, okay, I've been proposing these things and not listening to me. I'm using word of mouth. What do I do now? Start writing proposals. Sending proposals, everything on email, so that I'm safe, in case I get fired. I have evidence. Okay, now you're firing me. I did this. Why are you firing me? Okay, in case I decide now, let me move on, I have evidence to show what I've been doing. Because at times people, you want to go look for another job, another role, but you have no evidence that you've been doing anything for the past 2 years, 3 years. So I started personal branding. Working on my LinkedIn, doing that's how it also came in with the book. Once you learn that everything starts from within. Everything starts, building yourself, creating that environment that you want. Finding that husband, if you're a single person, starts from you seeing yourself worthy enough to deserve a good job, a good space, a good everything. It will just align. So that's, for me, that is what I had to do, learning to love time with myself. I don't have to look for approval from the outside.
Absolutely amazing. And Africans, we come from these communities. Our identity is tied to our people. So that's something very African. So sometimes you have to learn something that is completely, I would say, outside our counterintuitive. That's the word I was looking for. Counterintuitive. It's really not the natural intuition. So you want validation. You want to keep asking your mother whether you're doing fine, and your dad.
You want to be praised by your boss. You're doing a good job. You can do a good job. No, if you know you're doing a good job, you're doing a good job. That is good enough.
So actually, there's something you've mentioned that I really would like to hear more of. The way you kind of package yourself, and I'm not talking about personal branding. It's overused, but because I'm thinking, for example, you have a PhD. I mean, you accomplished that mileage. You have some published work, so that's you can show that. If you go to UAE, you go to US, wherever you go, you can show your work. So people starting off in their career and people who are trying to build their portfolio, what message would you give them? Because sometimes young people feel very frustrated. People are not taking your experience seriously. But maybe you're not writing down. You don't have a kind of a role.
I like that.
More than a CV. Evidence. You can show emails. You can show a project paper or a report talk to us about that.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I think 𝗪𝗔 should talk to us about that, because you're absolutely right. Documentation.
Yes.
A lot of the times I feel that younger people, and of course I understand that this is a huge generalization and that there are exceptions.
Yes.
But a lot of the times I feel like younger people will go to work every day and do what they're supposed to be doing, or go to school every day, go to college or whatever, but they don't document the good things that they've done.
Yes.
And you mentioned about being by yourself. And I think that's something that there's so much going on. The social media, there's TV, these days we have TV 24 hours a day.
Yes.
I remember a time when TV was, it would start at, I don't know, 4 p.m. and end at 10 p.m.
11.
Yeah, exactly, yes. If you are found watching TV in the middle of the day, there'd be questions. Anyway, there's so much out there now that distracts us. So I would say that one of the things I really liked what you said, take time every single day if you can, or at least over the weekend. Find a time once a week and just sit down and put down on paper, what have I achieved this week? And it doesn't have to be anything huge. But, I got to work on time every single morning, or I submitted some report on time every single time. Whatever it is. Of course, there are bigger things, aren't there? So note down what your successes are. I think a lot of the times we look, even on social media, and everybody else looks perfect. Perfect family, perfect career, perfect dress, perfect makeup, whatever it is. But, and that tends to make a lot of people feel less than.
Yeah.
But if you remember that you are the best version of yourself that there is, and today you have achieved something. Today I'm on Elevate TV, yay, put it down. And I would say also put it down on pen and paper. There is something, and I would love to quote the research, and I will find it and send it to you. But there's research that shows that when you write, that connection between pen and paper also activates something in your brain. And so it's really important to take a moment, and even if it's just brief notes, write down what you have achieved. I think that would go a long way for a young person who can come back, at the end of the year, asking themselves, now what have I done this year? And then they look back and see, oh, I did A, B, C, D. Oh, actually, I've achieved quite a bit.
Absolutely. So 𝗪𝗔, you're in the HR. I mean, you're a professional in the human resource side of things. And I actually wanted to bring up this story of, for example, your experience working with the younger people. Call them Gen Z.
Yes.
I know, sometimes we feel it's become like almost like they are punching bag. Gen Zs are not doing, Gen Zs are not doing. But when you work with young people, and you're also within that category, I mean, you're probably not far off there if you are touching millennial. So what's been your experience like? How are they now taking the new workplace, changing dynamics? With all these technologies, AI and all that, what's been your experience?
Most of them would rather work from home. This 8 to 5 thing is not 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗔 work. Well with field work. Secondly, they are very impatient.
Okay.
It's like, you see the way us with millennials, we are kuvumilia, you don't like this job, but now you don't like your boss, but now you have to vumilia because now what do you do? For them to have that patience, they are like, I can go do some online writings, I can do and I'll get some money and all that.
Yes.
They are very different kind of people, not the ones that you're used to. So when it comes to dealing with them, you need to be like, the open door policy. No, you have open door policy, there is no open door ukweli, but you need to have that for them. Because at times, and then also it's sad, but most of them don't know how to handle emotions, or they can be high or low. High or low.
Conflict.
They're very delicate.
They're very sensitive.
Very sensitive. Yes, and they need a lot of, you need to be like their mother, their big sister, you have to listen to them. They will call you anytime, be like, hey, 𝗪𝗪, mi sisikii poa. Mi na kama niko depressed. Ndio depressed imekuwa ni kama tu just normal word.
Yes.
Ni kama niko depressed manze,
Yeah.
mi siko poa.
Yeah.
So like, what's up? You talk, they can even do a video call, and they're just a special breed. But once they want to work, they'll do their best.
Yeah.
Yes, but don't like, for them, just if you able to give them flexible working hour, flexi. See, kama sisi 8 to 5. But even for us, 8 to 5 is too much. I wish they would just 8 to 5, you know, attempts. Like for me, by around midday, I've already done the much I can do. So half of the day, I'm not very productive. So I get them. At that point, I get them.
Yes. And then
true.
COVID came.
And
you know,
then
COVID came. It was a real reset button, right? It demolished all the theories we knew about work. And gave us a completely new way of looking at life. We actually finally understood we can work from home.
We can work from home.
And deliver.
We don't have to be together in the same room.
Just clock in and clock out.
Yes. So long as you deliver. That's the main thing. I'd like to say a couple of things about the Gen Z. I know you are asking, Mercy, but just to add on to that, this is a group, first of all, we talk about Gen Z like they're a whole different breed from another planet. But 40 years ago, I was Gen Z. You know, we were those children that people are like, can we really work with these people in an office? You know? So, you know, we need to also, because of all the technology, etc., they're innovative, they are quick, but they're also McDonald's babies. They want something to happen now. So, as we who are older, we need to take the time to listen to them, because sometimes if I'm depressed na sisikii poa, okay, you have to listen to that. You have to give me grace, you know. But we do have to mentor them. We have knowledge, we have information that age and wisdom has given us. So when we talk about Gen Zs like they're the other, they're our children. We need to guide them. We need to listen to them, and we need to harness some of that creativity, innovation, and speed that they have. Because I tell you what, even us, we don't know everything. But if we can blend the two together,
perfect.
The world would just be amazing, I think.
Absolutely. And I've seen actually that it's a generation that thinks very intuitively outside the box, very innovative. In their impatience kind of also give them a little bit of, helps them being a bit creative in terms of problem solving.
And I think we also need them in our working environment. We need them.
We do.
Because they help do what we are unable to do. We need them.
I agree.
It's a two-way street, for sure. We need each other.
Two-way street, Nobody can do without the new generation of workers. Very dynamic, and the more flexibility you provide for them, the more you can get value from them.
Absolutely.
And that's amazing. So let's talk about your vision for, you know, say education, maybe for you, Dr. Evangeline, I think it's the education side of things. And maybe for her is career coaching and stuff like that.
Maybe.
So what's your vision? How do we, what are some of the things we need to do to create a better future and help people really like align, not get lost, not lose their direction, given your background in education, policy and stuff like that? I'm just avoiding mentioning the word CBC because we can do without mentioning it, but still say the same thing.
Yes.
Good.
And I would avoid saying it as well, because especially now it's quite a fiery place to be. But I do think in terms of education, first of all, let me say, at least in Kenya and in many countries in sub-Saharan Africa, we have very strong policies. We have very good policies on paper. They're thoughtful, they've thought about creativity, they've thought about, let me talk about Kenya specifically, they've talked about the learning to learn, curiosity, being innovative, being collaborative, being, you know, learning to communicate clearly, and so on and so forth. So the policies are wonderful. I think the thing that I would wish would happen more of, and there are conversations happening and I'm aware of them, but wouldn't it be fantastic if our education system was much more closely aligned, for example, with industry?
Okay.
particularly now, things are changing so fast, and industries pivot a lot as well, because they need, it's about the bottom line, it's about, for example, the green industry and so on and so forth. We talk about it in industry, and I've seen corporations, organizations bringing in those thoughts very quickly. I think in education, we also talk about greening, but I think we are moving a lot slower. So if it were possible to align industry, universities, TVETs, entrepreneurship with schools and what children are learning, and give them an opportunity to experience that before they get to 18, 21, 34, I think that would be, wonderful.
Wonderful. Yeah, I get it. I get it. The link, and that link I think can be created by actually creating real connection.
Yes.
Yes. So maybe adapt a high school. So you are high school in Nairobi. Maybe there's you can create some partnership with a specific industry or organization where you say, okay, fine, you guys, you see what we do here, and you kind of have something deliberate, so that these kids are actually exposed as much as possible, and they don't come to the industry, they don't mature with the vague ideas of the reality, including maybe working with you in sales.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, maybe I'm sure you would like to add something on that in terms of how do you ensure that we are mentoring the next generation of people to work with us. For example, for you need a very big team, and including even dealing with the attritions as well.
Okay, like she said, it is very important right now in this generation for our children to be aligned or to be intentional when it comes to, we've been learning 844 for a very long time. But you see now, we come out 18 years, 17 years after high school, and then now you're told now to choose a career, to choose what to study. Some you are even pushed to to become doctors, but they can't even handle blood. Those practical visits to different industries, it will really help them, so that someone identifies. There's one who likes mambo ya stima, electrical things. They are aligned there. Someone who is okay with counseling, talking to people. We have counselors in schools. Then we align them there. It will be much more productive than having children go to school, study 3 years, then they drop out, take another course. If they are able to learn to identify their skills and their talents early on in life, it's easy for them to it's just like we do with footballers. From a young age, they are trained. They see this passion in this kid, and they just, that will be the best. Because I know at times I look at my daughter and I'm like, oh, who do you want to be? Today she wants to be a teacher, tomorrow she wants to be a doctor. But if we are able to identify this skill set earlier on, we will have a very great doctor by the time they're reaching 18 years or even 20 years. But you see, you're telling a 19-year-old who doesn't even know anything, who's just from biology, geography, history, to not decide what, and then you're like, I like science, let me go do biochemistry. Oh, I like maths, let me go do BCom. Then in the middle, they don't want to BCom again, they want to do something else,
Okay. Talk to us about your workplace.
Yes.
You work with a team.
Yes.
How many people do you work with?
20.
20. Okay, good. So, what's been your experience mentoring these guys?
Most people are in careers they did not start. They are in different careers. For most.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very
me
common.
Included. Almost everybody, apart from the finance team. But you see, finance is because now you've done finance. Where do you go? But the rest of the people, they are in different careers.
Okay.
Yes, they just like navigating through life.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Okay. So we want to wrap up. All right.
Okay.
So I think we've talked about all those nitty-gritties, pivoting, courage, boldness, make them bold moves and all that, and align, self-reflection and all that. What else do you think we need to? What else are we not talking about? Anything that we are leaving out when we talk about purpose and alignment?
Oh, what else are we not talking about? Here, I'd written some notes earlier. I think we've mentioned some of what I feel that we could spend the whole evening talking about in terms of, particularly when you think about children today, the Gen Zs, even the Gen Alphas, there needs to be a tighter, actually even for us who are older, there needs to be a tighter, let me reverse and come back again. Mentorship is what I'm thinking about, and guidance.
Yes.
Like you mentioned earlier, we were raised in communities, and I think that because of life and technology and where we are today, that has been sort of, getting dissolved a little bit. So it's not consistent. So from a very young age, I think it would be good if we could, maybe through schools, maybe through homes, maybe through, I don't know, clubs, organize some kind of regular mentorship so that there is a connection between an older, more experienced person and the younger children.
Okay.
So that they can begin to understand themselves. They can begin to understand what are the options out there, whether it's career-wise or whether it's in whatever realm.
Okay.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
I think that's one thing that we
creating that connection. Creating that connection.
The intergenerational connection.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Thank you so very much, Dr. Virginie. I just want to mention here some of the comments that are coming in so that we don't leave out everyone.
Okay.
Shiko Mainon, I think, well done, Dr. Evangeline. Rebecca Kimau here says, awesome, go ladies, good job, mob, love, CHRP Mase Nyandia. Some people are loving on you here. That's amazing indeed. And then somebody else, I think Ajel Wainaina, great conversation, and somebody else just giving us a thumb up. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mercy.
Yeah.
She said, I think we need to create a tighter generational connection for you. These are the things that we need to do to make sure that nobody gets lost in the maze?
For me, what I would like to tell everybody who's trying to navigate through life, there is no specific way of life. Take it as it is. Yes. And don't be afraid to start all over again. Don't be afraid to change and navigate through life.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Just because you started as a tourist, whoever, don't be afraid to go do sales. Just let life flow. Don't complicate your life. Don't complicate it. There is no straight line. That course you've done is not the end of you. You can always do something else. And we are evolving human beings.
Yes.
What you like today may not be what you like tomorrow. It is okay.
I love it.
I love that. I love that. That's a very, very good place to end this conversation indeed. Don't apologize if you have to make some moves, and life is not a straight line. I think that's clear. So yes, as much as we're seeking purpose alignment, sometimes it's very, very hard. You may go a long way around, but you always find there is that that thing that really connects tightly. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here and sharing your stories. And I want to just let our viewers know, Bold Moves is a book that has been published by a team of wonderful ladies, and Mercy Nyandia is one of the authors of that. And then, of course, we have When Things Go Wrong, and Dr. Evangeline Nderu is part of the team that authored this book. So find these books, read, hear the stories, get to learn from others, and that way then you actually be more gracious to yourself. You see that you're not the only one, you know, fumbling around. So
and that there's another way out.
Yeah, there's another way out. So have mercy on yourself, but keep pushing. God bless you so much. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Truly appreciate it.
Thank you
God
very
bless
much.
you. That's all we had for you this evening. God bless you. We'll see you another day. Keep it elevated and bye for now.